Okay, today is the vlog for April 5th, 2018, and I'm full. I'm full of food, and to give you an idea of how badly I am full of food, I had lunch at 12:30, 12. I think I got my food at about 12:45 today, maybe 12, maybe 1 o'clock. And I've skipped dinner. I don't intend to eat any dinner. I had a liquid dinner. I went to the pub after work today. And yeah, I had enough food that I might skip my meals tomorrow. So I'm used to Subway. I'm used to pretty crappy subs. I don't find them that crappy. I think they're sort of whatever. They're easy to digest, which is sometimes exactly what I need. Today, I went to Jersey Mike's and I ordered a Chipotle cheesesteak sub. And I said, foot long? They said, you mean a giant? And I was like, yeah, sure. A giant is apparently like a 14-inch sub, and I guess their half size is like 7 or 8 inches. Yeah, they also pack that thing way more full of food than I'm used to at Subway. I was expecting a lot of veggies and some deli meats. I got cheesesteak, chipotle mayo. I got provolone cheese, which was the cheese in the cheesesteak. I got grilled onions. It was delicious. It was so good that I only briefly considered not eating the second half. And after I'd finished eating the second half, I knew I'd made a mistake. Now, I have acid reflux. I don't know if I've talked about this before, but back when I was like 28, 29, I was eating terribly. I was just eating some of the worst food you could imagine eating. I was having McDonald's like every day for lunch during the week. And when I wasn't having McDonald's, I was eating some other kind of greasy crap like pizza or tacos or something. Just generally not eating well. And one day I thought I had heart palpitations. And I went to the doctor. The doctor's just like, "No, you're eating crap." I feel like maybe I've told this story in the vlog before. Anyway, so when I want to eat something that's not going to give me acid trouble, that's when I usually pick sub sandwiches. So I sort of consider it a clean meal, sort of like eating a sponge to soak up any extra acid so that it doesn't start crawling up my esophageal tract and making me think I'm having a heart attack. So that's fun. That wasn't what I got today. I didn't even think about Philly cheesesteak being something that sort of activates acid. But yeah, I certainly was thinking about it afterwards. So I carry, the point of the story is that I carry Tums everywhere I go in my little purse, my bag, my messenger bag. It's a purse. Let's all come together and say, it's a purse. So I popped one of those after eating, which thankfully kept the acid from becoming any kind of a problem today. But it also meant that it gave me the sensation that that food was just sitting there all afternoon, so being digested very slowly. And so I felt very heavy all day. And when you already weigh 265 pounds or whatever, feeling heavy is not altogether pleasant. I was very tired, and having a beer after work sort of, tuckered me out. So I decided to I just got home maybe 15 minutes ago, and I just decided to straight away do one of these because I might pass out in a little bit. But yeah, I had a Hefeweizen with a friend who had 2 beers, and that should give you an idea of how worse work was for him than for me. Because I drank a pretty light beer, and he was drinking some pretty heavy IPAs, and he had 2. I am not a heavy drinker. I know my limit. My limit is usually 1. If I want to drive anytime soon after having a drink, I only have 1 drink. And I have gotten rip-roaring drunk in the past, back when I was in college, mostly shortly after being in college. That was when I did most of my heaviest drinking. Because that was just sort of what my friends did. They would pick a weekend during the month and just binge drink that one weekend. We'd make a miniature party of it. We wouldn't care that it wasn't a real party after we'd had enough to drink. But I was never super self-destructive. It was always very elective. and I never felt like a real need to just keep doing that over and over and over again. Because usually I've never been really hungover, like with a headache. I've never managed to dehydrate myself that badly. I always have water while I'm drinking. So I'll be all over the place. And then in the morning, I'll just be like, oh, that was fun. Tired. And that's it. That's the worst I feel. No pounding headaches. No general aches or anything. Just sometimes I feel very tired. The last time I remember getting very, very drunk was a bad movie night. My friend Sean, who has now moved to California, would have us sit and watch 3 movies, all of which were terrible. And the very first one we did, the first movie was The Reanimator, based loosely on an H.P. Lovecraft story about a man that brings dead flesh back to life. And of course, it doesn't go very well. But being somebody that does not like the sight of dead bodies and is, in fact, overtaken by unreasonable and irrational fear at the sight of cadavers, I knew I was going to have to drink a bit to get through that movie. Now, alcohol does not cure a phobia. It just dulls the senses and the thought processes enough that it may give you pause. And in my case, it lets me look at the fake corpses in the movie and go, those don't even look real. Give me another one. I think I need another one to get through this. Also, it's a terrible movie, so drinking really made it better. But that was the point. You know, we watched 3 terrible movies. We watched The Reanimator. We watched the worst movie I've ever seen in my life called Space Cop, which is made by the Red Letter Media people. It was a movie that they made because no one had ever made a movie called Space Cop, and they felt that that was a gap in cinematic history that needed filling. They made it bad on purpose, but it didn't end up being bad in that goes all the way around and is sort of enjoyable, like The Room, for example, which was so bad it's good that someone made another movie about how bad it was called The Disaster Artist. No one's going to make a movie about how bad Space Cop was. You'll start thinking, oh, this is funny, oh, this is just terrible. Oh, it's terrible. It's really funny that it's terrible. And then like half an hour later, like, this is shit. Why am I watching this? That's really what it is that you won't feel like the time was well spent when you finally get to the end. There's no big payoff. There's no like comedic ending that makes up for the terrible previous hour and a half that you had to sit through. It's just bad, and it's people acting badly on purpose in ways that are just annoying. I don't like it, and I don't think anyone else should. Now, sometimes you say all this stuff and people are like, oh, it couldn't be that bad, or oh, that's excellent, it's so terrible, I have to see it. And maybe you'll like it. Maybe you will, but don't invite me to see it. I will never watch that movie again for love or money. So, this has been Eric Spornitz. And tomorrow will be better, because I won't eat 14 inches of Chipotle cheesesteak. Bye-bye.